I'm Hamad Awaini. I'm an author and an artist. I'm here to talk to you about the simulation and I discuss it in my book. I think the simulation is a dreadful idea. It's really a bad idea, but it's somehow inevitable. I think it's psychosis. It's part of psychosis. But the problem is that it's a pattern, that it's always people like always people come back to it and get to it eventually. No matter how hard you try to run away from it, you always come back to it, which is life could be simulated. How to use this idea for good? How to change it from something that is bad to something that is good? I've discussed it in a previous video, but the previous video I took it too seriously and I talked about science and I talked about all of these things and they all have merit. Some things have changed, have aged like milk, but still some things are still have merit. The idea behind it is that how can we use this idea for good? Life could be simulated. It's it's not something that we should be afraid of. We just continue our lives normally. We just brush it off. We just brush off the dreadfulness that comes with this idea and we continue our lives normally. Does that mean that our thoughts aren't warranted? No, many people have this idea. Many people go through the same thing that you are going through, or I am going through, because I thought of this idea a lot and I wrote about it and I tried to articulate it so that I can make sense of it. And after 2 years, around 2 years thinking of it that way, I still think life is a simulation. Sadly, even though I really didn't want it to be, but I still think life is a simulation. It could change. It's again, it's a it's a it's an angle of thought. It could change in the future. In the future, it could change my mind. But the problem is that it just doesn't want to get proved. Like, no matter how hard you try to prove that life is a simulation, it doesn't want to get proved. No matter how hard you try to make sense of the synchronicities that you feel, it just doesn't work. And this is what's so frustrating about it. And this is why it's such a dreadful idea, because you feel the synchronicities of life. You feel how everything is connected, but you just cannot prove it. You cannot articulate it no matter how hard you try. And it's okay. This is the idea of this video, to say it's okay. To say that it's normal. We just have to use this idea for good, to understand that life is connected in a beautiful way. We need to understand the karmic universe, the idea that if you do good in the universe, good things will happen to you, hopefully. Hopefully. I don't know if this is true, but hopefully. We can only hope that there is a higher power controlling things and it has a plan for us. It's not just random, because the other part, because you're stuck. Okay, so this is why I like the idea of the simulation, because the other idea that is opposed to it is that everything is random and everything is meaningless. And that's just a nihilistic idea that is more dreadful than the simulation. But then you come to the idea of the simulation and it is dreadful, because you start to think that everything is about you. And this is the problem with it. This is the number one problem with the idea of the simulation, that you think that it's about you, but it's not. It's really not. It's about everyone in your life. It's about everyone in the world. and we're all living in it together. And its streams of consciousness all affect each other and all help each other out. But the idea is that things are happening on a certain timeline, and everyone is affecting things that are happening. Now, personally, I talk a lot about quantum entanglement, and I use it for entertainment purposes. You must understand that I know that this is not how science works. I know that this is... You don't know, actually. Actually, you don't know. Like, maybe science works that way. I have no idea. But anyways, quantum entanglement is the cosmic connection between particles. How particles can affect each other from a distance. How atoms and particles can affect each other from a distance. And life is not local. Atoms can affect each other not from their surroundings, but distances apart. And I just have this vision of that a lot of things that are happening at the same time, and everyone has a role in it. Everyone is consciously attached to the things that are happening and is useful to the things that are happening, even if they are continents away. For example, and this is gonna get really weird, but for example, a doctor doing a surgery, an electrician fixing the wiring of a building, someone reading a book or writing a book, and those three are connected with multiple other things that are happening, with a baby being born, with something that is happening, everything that is connected. And one conscious decision from the electrician affects how the doctor reacts, and how the doctor reacts affects how the person is writing the book. And everything is connected in this way through quantum entanglement. It's a really beautiful vision that keeps you... Why do I like this vision? Because it keeps you focused. It keeps you saying that I matter, like things matter, my conscious decisions matter, and I'm not alone in the simulation. I'm not like the simulation isn't coming out of me, I am in it. It's not coming out of me, I am in it. Which brings us away from the dreadful thought that the simulation is just everything is simulated and everything is a game and you're playing a game. This is a dreadful idea. But if you think of it as you are part of a big system that is happening, it could be a very beautiful idea that could set you free. And this is why I talk about the simulation. And because I noticed a pattern that everyone who takes hallucinogenics, everyone who goes through psychosis, they quickly go straight to the simulation. They say that life is simulated, and you can see it online, like everyone talking about like life is simulated. Then they put the idea aside, which is good to put the idea aside. But for the people who can't shake this feeling, understand that you are part of a system. That you are part of a system that is bigger than you, and you are connected to the world. And let it be a good idea. So either ways, I just really hope that you check out my art, you check out my Instagram, check out my book. My book is linked below. Thank you so much. I'll keep doing videos like this. I'll maybe make a video reacting to my first video about the simulation and talk more about this topic. It's good to talk about it. It's good to explain it. It's good to articulate it. It's very hard to articulate it, but I try my best to do that. Anyways, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.